Acts chapter 15 and verse 26. It says, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone which rule well. And peace and much love, honors and blessings, and salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, which hold their conduct, composure, and integrity, standing firm, fast, and faithfully for the name of Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahushai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly called God, and Yahushai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, call Halom Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, that being their true and only names. All right, now what I just read was in the book of Acts, an account where it was declared on the type of position that the men of the Lord face and go through on a consistent and daily basis, even if it's not even like you're not physically seeing us being put into prison. You're not physically seeing our people laying hands on us, or the enemy, the wicked, Esau, putting up on the TV or the social media sites that we're the threat of the planet. And doesn't mean that what us men in this ministry are going through is not, pinnacle or climactic to the life of a man. You people and whoever you may be that don't have that don't really understand what the men of the Lord have to go through in this time and why they're going through it. I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to every person out there that even thinks that they do know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but you can tell by their works that it's left to the Lord at the end. They come off questionable, which there is no I'm half in, I'm half out type of behavior in this thing. You either believe in the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai or you don't. Ain't none of this, I'm going to take from this, I'm going to believe partially on that type of mindset. And if you have a mindset like that, if you can't accept this truth for 100% of what it is, the Lord ain't dealing with you. All right? Now, at a point in time, even starting with the apostles, they said that maybe in the end the Lord might deal. But we're at a critical point in time. We're in the darkest moment of history where all that shit is kind of done with, man. The Spirit felt and tried and examined men and women, and even you women. There was, the time for that happened. But now we in the time of, either you believe or you don't. If you don't fucking believe, then may the Lord destroy and deal with you. Or may the Lord deal and destroy with you. All right? We ain't about that sugarcoating, spoon-feeding, hugging, kissing, I'm sorry type of shit that I believe in this, but you don't type of attitude. We ain't on that no more, man. All right? And the reason why I'm coming at this, man, is because I've seen that, and us men, and not just me, but we've seen that you common ass people will never understand what us men of the Lord had to go through in this time. Not just because of us proving ourselves to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but because of the mess that we had to deal with. All right, the hatred, the lashback, the backbiting, the demonization, all right, the hell, the scourges, the beratement, the belittlement, the condescension, all right, the ostracizement from the world. You don't understand what we had to really go through in this time, and you'll never understand what was on our plate. That's because you people are part of the problem. Whoever you may be that's watching that doesn't have the full understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're the problem. All right? Because you don't understand how much danger and how much hell, how much turmoil we had to go through in this time. I mean, when the scriptures say that the Lord hath pleasure in the death of his saints, what the fuck do you think that means, man? Like, honestly, what the fuck do you think that means? And I'm doing this with anger today because it's annoying that you people not one thing that you bite at to understand or consider what us men go through on a regular basis. Just because you see us, driving like I'm driving right now, I'm about to go into the city, you're going to see me. And if you greet me, I'll smile. Hey, how you doing? And you think all is well. At that simple as, that's all you see, that little as window, and you perceive my life to be in harmony. You common ass people. And when I say this, and when I use myself as an example, I'm also generalizing that and spreading that out to the entire ministry of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Every man that's in this ministry with Yahweh Shemel Shai, in the house of faith, the great millstone. All right, that's who I'm using. That's who I am covering and defending. Because I don't give a fuck about nobody else outside of this thing, man. I really don't. All right. I've had women. I have women, acquaintances in this time, and all of them have proven to be the same exact fucking type of people as the rest of you people. The world. They've proven that they're of the world. So whether I choose to have someone close to me or at a distance or whatever it may be, that's my fucking choice because of what I've seen from them. All right? The same way that the rest of the men, they make those choices and those decisions based off the discernment of the Spirit. When the scriptures say that the whole world, W-H-O-L-E, whole meaning the entire world, all right, the oikomene, when the entire, which is literally every inhabitant, it's talking about all the inhabitants of the world, since y'all want to cluster and group everybody on the planet as believers and lovers of God, right? Well, this particular verse is talking about all the inhabitants. It says that all the inhabitants, the entire world, lieth in wickedness. You think we're just, us men that are abstaining from this life, you think we're just going to jump on board with you and be cool and ha-ha, hee-hee and, wiggle around and, we good? No. We use discernment, man. The scriptures talk about that if thou be among the unwise, discern the time. There's a reason why you don't see us out like that. There's a reason we ain't in the city like that. Every day, man, when I go into the city, I go in the city to do what the fuck I gotta do, and I get the fuck back where I gotta go, which is to my own crib. I don't spend no time. I might here and there, because I'm a what do you call it, a handyman. I'm a jack of all trades. So what tickles my fancy at times is looking at tools, or I'll go, because I live in the country in the backwoods, hunting gear, I do, studying and stuff on that, or I'll get a drink by myself, which I enjoy. Believe it or not, men like being alone. But I'll do that, and then but other than that, I don't lollygag around, man. I get up, I pay my bill, I get the fuck up, get in my car, and I head back to where I lay my head at. All right? But there's a reason why we're not out in this place like that, man, because of the evil that's on it. All right? We are, like I said a minute ago, we are living in the darkest, most evil time period of history, which is our present, ever. All right? And we ain't got time to play games with you people, man. We ain't got time we never did have time. The scripture said that our salvation was more near than when we believed. But this is a lesson to back and defend us men that have fucking headaches, that are exhausted, that man, you really don't understand, man. I wish that, I'll tell you a personal thing, man. And sometimes I wish I just don't wake up because of how tired I am. And I'm not saying I want to die, but at the same time, too, man, we love not our life unto death. This is something that you people have totally missed and not considered. That every day, as a man that came into the truth of Yahweh Shemel Shai, me personally speaking, and then learning for 18 years. I'm going for 18 years in this truth, man. And for 18 fucking years, I understood. First I had to get the understanding. So there's really a choice, or not I wouldn't call it a choice. There's a juncture that every man that's in this ministry has to pass and come to terms with, ultimately accept. And that is understanding that you potentially might die. Along the way in this journey of serving Yahweh Shemel Shai, you may die. Today could be your last day. But in the grand scheme of all things, at the very end, when it all comes down and boils to the matter, all right, the ultimate test, which is getting to that RFID chip and making it all the way through that, Jacob's trouble, making it all the way through World War III, all right, and then making it through the missiles. Okay, the missiles, which is the last judgment for these wicked ass 2/3 in this country, and Esau. All right, you can get, scripture talk about how you put your hand, you met a lion, put your hand in the wall, a serpent bit you and came around the corner of a bear. That's in Amos, right? Which goes into a deeper meaning, but we used it as far as also meaning how you got one scenario, you might get past it, but then you come around the corners of another scenario, and you get past that, but there's another scenario to take your ass out and to get you. All right, you may get through some of the worst shit that the Lord is bringing, but that last judgment, which is the thermonuclear missiles, boy, that's the ultimate test. And all the way up to that point, we don't know if we're saved, because the scriptures say that the righteous will scarcely be saved. So we understand that when the missiles come is when the Lord's going to deliver the elect. All right. I made a video like a year ago. And I'll probably have to make it again, but there was an elder that used my vision as his video. He shared the vision, but basically I had a vision that the world, the country America had been destroyed. It was just a bunch of gravel and rock, like the type of shit you see in woods, like you make a path of rocks, and it was just clumps of men. It was Israelite men, but they were scattered. But in that scattering, there was little groups, like 2 to 3 men, together, and with their wife or their kids. But they were scattered. They were, spread out, and the missiles were coming, because what happened next? We were taken into the sky, but the missiles were hitting as we're being taken up, and I could feel that heat. The heat was hot. It wasn't, but it would. I'm looking at everything like I'm about to die, but the heat was bearable. It was hot enough to be like, fuck, what the fuck? But I was able to look, what's going on? What's going on? Rather than, oh my God, what's going on? I was able to be like, whoa, hey, that kind of hurts. That kind of hot. And that links up with the scriptures, man, that the righteous scarcely being saved. All right, but up until that point, we don't know if we're saved. So going back to me in what I was talking about, how that every day being in this truth, having to agree with the terms of potentially dying. Do you understand what type of effect that could possibly have on a person's mind? I told a brother this yesterday, because the brother's worn out, he's feeling really run down and tired, and I get it, he's exhausted. And I told him, I was like, look, man, you're a strong man, because you're balancing 2 worlds while everybody else is trying to balance one, but they crashing out on just one. We balance the world of this world, because we gotta get our daily bread. We gotta go through this world to make ends meet, because we're all held by the system in some way, right? You deal with the woman, you deal with the kids, you deal with the life, potentially. But then you got to balance the world of serving Yahweh Shem Shai, making sure you get your videos in, making sure you're there for camp, making sure you meditating on the Lord, making sure you're walking within wisdom in the way of the Heavenly Father, which is a 24/7, or what do you call it? A 24. Is it 24/7? Yeah, 24/7 basis. So balancing 2 worlds at once. So I told the brother, you're strong for that, because majority of men, everybody outside of the truth, can only just balance one, but bug out just trying to balance that one. See, us men have been balancing 2 worlds this entire time. We've been balancing 2 lives, and we still here, motherfucker. We still doing this. And you people, and you common ass people, or those that think they would know the name, or think that they might believe in the Bible, and yet you don't consider us and what the hell we go through. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yet we have hazarded our lives, put ourselves in danger on a daily basis, put our entire life out there, like the scriptures say, with all these thoughts in our mind as well. And we still here to fight. We still come to work to fight every single day. And you don't consider that. You don't consider that we've already thought about losing everything. we already prepare ourselves on a daily basis to potentially lose everything. The scriptures talk about it. All right? That's what Yahweh Shah looks for. He's looking for such, as it said in John the 4th chapter. And you people don't get that. You really don't get. You really, and you never will. When I make videos like this, I always refer, the Elder Yashawamba in his videos. A video he made actually, man, this is like 4 or 5 years old now. Holy crap. That's ridiculous. Because I listened to the video when it first came out, when the elder made the video, I listened to it right away. And that was back in 2021, either 2020 or 2021. So it's been at least 5 years. And it was titled, what the hell, man? That's crazy. That video just feels like it's only a year old. Damn. Anyways, but he made a video titled Immortals in Mortal Bodies. And within that video, he had made a declarated statement. And he said, your family, when he's talking to us men, he said, your family, your woman, your wife, your kids, your loved ones, everybody in your life will never understand what you truly had to go through in this time. They'll never understand. But really, he was saying, your woman, your woman and your loved ones, they'll never understand what you had to go through. And you can't understand because the Lord's not dealing with you on that level. Here it is, the Lord is trying to deal with people at a base level, just enough to show compassion for the men of the Lord, and they won't. They can't. They all about themselves, or they all about what the fuck they want to get, or what they see. This world really, truly is a cruel place. The world really is cruel. The world really takes no prisoners, especially when it comes to the men of the Lord. The scripture talk about how the Lord had set the apostles last, as if it were unto death. And that's like, we understand, like I said, I keep saying, we understand that death may be on the line, but the Lord made it to where every man in this ministry is able to ground that information enough to be able to accept it when it comes. Because the Lord has taught us that no matter what, never bend the knee. No matter what, don't bow down. And we understand that this world, already on a smaller level, has been trying to make us bow every single day. It comes through your own actual personal affairs. It comes through your woman. And we already understand Jake, man, deal with a lot of women. I won't say a lot of women, like make it sound weird. But Jake deals with women. All right? And we understand that the woman, all she's going to give a fuck about is this world. That's why she's going to beg you, and it's not begging, it's nagging. She's nagging you for your time, nagging you to put forth more effort. It's like, motherfucker, leave me alone. What the fuck do you even know about, what do you know about effort? While your ass is building up cellulite because you ain't putting forth no effort. You just sitting there talking shit. What the fuck are you getting done? But then you want to hound a man who gives all his effort every fucking day, but because you don't see it according to your standard. And what the fuck is a standard to a woman anyways, man? You don't know shit. You don't know how to have proper standards. Standards built off of integrity. All right? Devotion. When the scriptures talked about a devout believer in the scriptures, it was talking about devout men. Devout men. Because we know how to be diligent. We know how to be loyal. We are vigilant. We give it our fucking all in this thing, man. You have no idea. And it hurts at times. Like, man, sometimes it really does fucking hurt. That you just throw our fucking effort to the side like it's nothing, man. And you don't see that what we're doing is greater than us. Greater than you. But because you don't see it as greater than you, you see this as a small thing, a small matter. That's why the Lord has said that in Luke. He said that because thou hast been faithful over a little, the whole world looked at this truth and the work of the Lord as a little matter. But we saw the true value. We saw how much it really mattered. We saw how important it really was. We saw what it really meant to our existence. That we ain't going to exist without it. But because you see it as a small thing, oh, it ain't important, man. you could do that. You could do that later. You can always make a video later. Get the fuck out of here, man. Who are you to tell me when I'm going to put in work for the Lord? You know? And we understand that our power is a jealous power, and he would love it if we just worshiped him day and night too, which we do. We do. But, it's, you know, to make a 24-hour lesson. The Lord would be like, hey, bro, chill out. All right, you did it. Okay, cool, you can do it. But hey, chill out, bro. You know? But like the Lord, he loves us when we do when we give our, what would you want to call it? Damn, I'm losing the word. Like, he's pleased when we're giving our, I can't even think about it. You know what I'm trying to say? He's pleased when we give him our, I can't even think. The only word that's coming to my mind is my alms, you know, but when we're giving him what needs to be given for him to know that we believe and that we love him, right? So, so understanding how important it is for, well, us, meaning the men of the Lord, like for instance, like personally me, man, and I guarantee you every other man in this ministry it thinks the same way. But like I hate taking time out of doing a lesson to do something else that's, you know, but for the world. I hate that shit. I hate when the world takes up my time so that I can't get the lesson in when I want to get it in. But there have been times, and this is also to back up that we're not fucking woman haters. We don't, y'all, you know, you've heard the accusations over the years, like, go fuck yourselves, man. You other Israelite camps and Israelite men. But this is to show that if we really hated women the way that y'all say we do, we you know, I wouldn't have done something like this, man. And I'm not the only one who's done that, which is why I'll be able to say this. There's been times where a woman hit me up right when I'm about to make a lesson, you know? And, you know, she'll be like, hey, you know, and this has been in the past, but she'll be like, hey, what are you doing? I'll be like, hey, I was about to make a lesson. But then but because they know not to fucking say anything about it, they'll be like, oh, well, can you, you know, blah, blah, okay, well, call me back when you're done. I'm like, all right. Sometimes I've actually been like, well, what's up? What do you need? Or they might be like, hey, seeing if you wanted to go get something to eat. I was like, well, shit, let's go get something to eat right now then. I was like, I'll do it after. I've done that before. But do you know how shitty I feel for doing that? So I make it up. Lord willing, Yahweh Shai is pleased with me trying to make it up, because I'll do an extra video, you know, or watch more videos, or, you know, read more scriptures, right? Which, hey, you know, don't have that mentality, man, of trying to make things up to the Lord. Like, you know, you gotta give it your all the time. I'm not saying I'm going off. I'm not saying you going off if you've done it, but our mindset is to always, you know, put the Lord first and give it our best. But again, this is about balancing things. But this is not what that lesson is for. But we've done those things. All right. It's lucky for the snippet. My respiratory system. I got an infection. Past couple of days, it's been hell, but it'll be all right. But Salakia for the excessive sniffing now. But anyways, but we've met you people, you common people. You know, I'm calling even, you know, the ones that we have in our life is common. Cause like I said, man, if you ain't full foot into this thing, man, get the fuck out of here. You ain't about this. But we've come to your levels. All right, us men in this ministry, through experience, we've come to your level to try to appease you, to help you see that, look, we still here. We you know, if a man got a woman that he loves, to show her like, hey man, we love you, but we got to do this. We got to do this work. We've met you at your requests, and it still ain't enough for you to fucking comprehend. This video is not about defending you. It's about defending the men of the Lord. The exhaustion that you put us into, you know, with your own nonstop shenanigans and, you know, bickering and nagging and talking shit, and, you know, not even taking the day of time or the time of day to really understand what we have to deal with. That's why I really wanted to make this entire lesson. I'm just turning around. That's why I wanted to make this entire lesson about hazarding our lives. Because when you go into the hazarding, this is what we're potentially going to have to be faced with. And some of us, man, we have been through things. Well, no, I'm not going to say all of us, men, in this truth, have been through things. Especially early on in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, or 2010, 11, 12. We dealt with some shit, man. Us, man, went through shit. Even up to the 15, 17. We went through shit. I talk about certain things, they need to stop this dude, man. This dude is a fucking crackhead. They call him the warlock. I'm gonna kick his shit out. Tear his shit off, man. They call him the warlock of rapids or something like that. I don't know. He goes around setting up shit with used trash lids and anyways, Salakia. But like I've been saying, like we've been through things, man. I mean, we've been through stuff. All right, I like to use the example whenever when I was back with dude back in Texas, man. We had a truck hit us. We had undercover cops come up to us. I know for a fact one of them was a cop. Maybe one day I'll give you a testimony of what happened that night. But I know that one was a cop, and he came up to us. It was four of them in a car. They were dressed in regular civilian clothing, and they were like, "What y'all doing over here?" But the brother discerned real quick, and he's like, "Well, if y'all got a problem with it, go down the street." It was dope. I liked it. Still love that account. But there's stuff that we've been through, man. Angry tenants at an apartment complex because they found out what we did. I dealt with a few of those, man. The Lord was cold with it too. All right, we've dealt with these things, man. And what the fuck have you gone through? What have you gone through? What are you going through? I'm not. Again, I ain't talking to the true believers. I'm talking to you wannabe poser ass and you self-righteous fucks, man. What are y'all going through? My paycheck was short $10. I really want to get this, but I don't have enough money for it. That's your own fucking fault. I need help because I want to be lazy. You people, you Americans, man, are so fucking lazy, man. You don't know when you actually got to do a fucking job. You can't do it because you're so fucking used to being lazy. God damn. Anyways, when you go into men that have hazarded their lives, it goes into to deliver or betray, and we've had a lot of betrayal. Still being betrayed. People that use this against us. I've talked about how I lost a lot of jobs back when I was in Texas because of this. All right, and then it was meant to happen, and I ain't worried about it. I just saw the evil, and I saw the wickedness of those that pretended to be friend to me at the time, but were scheming and conning or scamming on me. Or scheming on me, there you go. Betray. Even betrayed by our own. Men that were in this thing that became enemies. It says to give up. All right, give over. And we understand that time is coming where Esau's coming for us, man. And who he's going to go for first? The ones that know us and are connected to us. And he's going to use them to try to get to us so that they give us over, that they give us up. All right? They're going to try to commit us to prison. That's why it's going to talk about in 2 Ezra 16 that Esau is going to be spoiling and destroying and killing those that fear the Lord. He's looking, that's what this is all about, man. Jacob's trouble, coming to kill 2/3, coming to kill Israelites. Ain't just about killing Israelite, it's about us. Everything is about the elect. Esau knows there's an elect. Every man that's out there in the highways and hedges, Lord willing, that's sincere, right? Every man that's out there on the highways and hedges is an enemy to Esau. Because, like I said at the very beginning, we represent a threat to the planet because we're speaking of another sovereign control. All right? And that being the control of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Revelation 11 and 15. Okay? And so they gonna come after us because they believe that if they can stop us from talking the words and affirmation and manifestation, they believe that if they can stop us from preaching, it'll stop the Lord from coming, because the Lord needs to hear a complaint, right? No, wrong. Scriptures say that the blood of the righteous crieth up unto the Lord. So when we go to the spirit world, he's still hearing them cries. But even at that, you act like the Lord didn't see you just murder all his chosen, if that were to be a thing. Yeah, man. We talk about it, man. We know that this devil has profiles on us. All right? We know it. We know it. I talk about the time and after 9/11, I was put onto a national, I'll just say it out loud, but terrorist group list. I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old, man. And they had my information, my exact name. So, first of all, how the fuck am I a terrorist, but I got a social security, man? Idiots. But yeah, man, I was I was on a national terrorist list in 2001, 9/11. After they what do you call it? Implemented the Patriot Act, the Big Brother Act, and all that. Yeah, I talked about this recently, but I was put onto that list. I had to get a pardon letter from George Bush that I was off the list and good. My parents still have the letter, because letter from the president, right? So yeah, you want to act like this is all just in our head. No, man, no. Y'all bugged out for this, man, for thinking that. We are truly committed to a cause and understand what came with it, the danger that comes with it. Like I said, putting it into our mind that potentially we're going to be captured, we're going to be tormented, we're going to be tortured by the hand of our enemy, which is Esau. The scriptures talk about that, man. The scriptures talk about, look at that, 1 penny. Damn. Hey, that's spiritual, man. That penny, the parable of the penny, right? Call halom Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, man. Lord willing. But scriptures talk about, let us fall into the hands of the Lord and not the hands of men. Because an enemy will do whatever he wants to you to kill you, and he'll have his fun and way with it. Whereas the Lord will judge you in righteousness, and he'll get it over with. We understand these things are coming. We think about these things all the time. All the time. And we're getting ready. But you people need to get the fuck off our back, man, and leave us the fuck alone. You wonder why we're cutting people out left and right, or why we don't tolerate shit so quickly, is because we're done with that stuff, man. We're done with the asshole attitude and the hesitance, the resistance, the doubting. We're done with that. We ain't looking for nobody around us that doesn't fucking believe. And not to say we're looking for people. The only reason why we're preaching is to look for the elect still, so that the Lord can get the elect, bring in the rest of the elect. That's it. Other than that, we're done with this place. We've been done with this place. But shit, watch the video. That's all I got to say. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. We want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, which rule well. And peace and much love, honors and blessings to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, which hold their kind of composure and integrity. To the next one I say, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Brakatham. Kwame Shalom. The one opportunity, Shalom.